Hi everyone, this is APO Sports, and today we're going to talk about the Golden State expansion draft and the requirement for each team to select 6 players to protect. So something came down, I believe it was yesterday, from the WNBA and how the expansion draft is going to work. So this is what it says how it's going to work. So each current WNBA team can protect up to 6 players from being selected. The Golden State Valkyries will select from a designated pool of available players from each of the 12 current teams. The Golden State Valkyries may make pre-expansion draft trades, including deals to pick specific players and trade them to different teams. And the Golden State Valkyries may only select one player set to become a 2024 unrestricted free agent. So it's time to pick the 6 players that we want to protect from the Indiana Fever. Now, of course, there's some rules that go along with all of this, but bottom line is the Indiana Fever have to do the exercise of selecting 6 players to protect. There's a timeline and a deadline that's coming up soon, according to the league. So it's nothing that's going to happen immediate, but nonetheless, it needs to happen. So I'm going to approach this as if I was the general manager for the Fever. So if I'm Lin Dunn, this is exactly what I would do to approach this entire situation. Who are we protecting? So we already know the first 3 that we're protecting. I mean, I've been saying this in all of my videos. These 3 are the untouchables. Nobody's getting these 3 players, and that is Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hall. I'm punching that right away. No questions asked, no doubts, nothing. Nope, I don't even have to think about that. I have to talk to anyone. Nope. I'm protecting those 3 players. First thing, boom. So then the question is, who are the next 3? So I actually think there's a 4th easy answer as well that I would do immediately, along with the other 3 that I just mentioned. I just think unanimously we can all agree that we want to protect Hall, Clark, Boston. If you think differently, please let me know in the comments, because I really want to know your rationale as to why you would not protect any of those 3 players. So now we get into the next 3, right? And to me, if I'm the general manager, I'm protecting Katie Lou Samuelson right away at fourth, without much hesitation. Maybe I'll talk to somebody about it, maybe not, but I'm pretty confident that I want to keep Katie Lou Samuelson. This is someone who showed really a lot of potential for playing with the Fever, especially right after the Olympic break. And then something happened, something, that saw her out for a little bit. And then Lexi Hall was inserted into the starting lineup. And it seemed like maybe Katie Lou never really got her groove back on. Her confidence was kind of shot a little bit, especially with all the rhetoric happening in social media. So maybe she got too much into her head. But I do believe that Katie Lou Samuelson, number one, she's committed. She knows that she wants to come back next year. That was evident from her exit interview. Really one of the only players that was like, yeah, I'm coming back next year. I want to be part of this team, all of those things, which you didn't really see that from a lot of the other players. So I think this is someone who, if she improves conditioning a little bit, and then regains her confidence, and essentially, or especially when shooting threes, she's going to be a whole different player next year. So I think she's going to improve dramatically for the next season. I just, and to me, this is also a gut reaction. So I really do trust Katie Lou Samuelson to come back stronger and better next year. And you love the fact that she's a team player. And this is also someone that Caitlin Clark has established a friendship with. So I just want to keep Katie Lou Samuelson around. So she's number 4. So number 5. And this is where we get to the Nalissa Smith discussion. This is how I would approach it. Again, this whole entire thing. This is what I would do. I would call Nalissa Smith and say, hey, Nalissa, what are you up to these days? Any way we can meet up in person. I want to talk to you about something in person. Like, all right, come on down. So we get Alyssa. We're talking to her. What's going on? How are you? How's Dijonay? Okay, good. Everything's good. Perfect, perfect. Hey, so I really wanted to meet with you in person so that I would talk to you about what's happening with the Golden State expansion draft. I think that you're a tremendous, talented player. We value what you bring to the Indiana Fever. And I know that this season did not turn out the way that you were hoping, and that some drastic changes happened to the team, especially from when we drafted you number 2 a couple of years ago. So I want to give you the opportunity to let me know whether you'd be interested in us protecting you. Well, I would ask her if she wants to be potentially drafted or have the opportunity to be drafted by the Golden State Valkyries. And I would truly make her choice. I really would. So if she says, yes, I want to be protected, then I would include her and say, okay, you're number 5. So as far as Nalissa Smith, I would go with whatever her choice is, either the opportunity to get drafted or to not get drafted. And then I would just go with that. However, I would still be transparent with her and say, okay, we're going to protect you now, but we will be potentially looking at moving you during the off season if a trade comes up or if something like that happens. I mean, we'll try to consult with you again to kind of let you know what we're thinking so that we maintain that transparency. But just know that that's on the horizon, that we may be looking into moving you during the off season. But and now knowing that, do you still want to do you want to change your mind? No? Okay, cool. Then you're protected. But if she says no, or that, yeah, I want the opportunity to get drafted by the Valkyries, then I'll leave her out. And then we'll have to consider someone else for that. Which brings us again to Kelsey Mitchell. And I would do the same exercise with Kelsey Mitchell. But but the first conversation that I'm having is with Nalissa Smith, just given how the season turned out for her. So I kind of want her to have some say in what happens in her future, because at the end of the day, you still want her to be successful, to kind of, help her achieve her goals, and at the same time achieve the Fever goals as well. So you don't want to be, you don't want to do things on bad faith. Whenever you do things on bad faith, whether it's business or in sports or when dealing with people, there's an element of karma that can come back and get you if you don't do things the right way for other people, right? So even if you believe that whatever this decision might hurt you in the short term, it's just the karma bank that you want to put into and invest in it, just being right and doing right by people. So I think here I would prioritize Nalissa Smith and giving her the choice as to what she wants to do. And then after I have that discussion with Nalissa Smith, I would have the same discussion with Kelsey Mitchell. Do you want the opportunity to be drafted by the Valkyries? Or do you just want to test the regular free agent market, right? So, I mean, those are discussions that you have to have. And I would do the same for Kelsey Mitchell. She's an unrestricted free agent. She's going to do what she wants. So when it comes to this, I don't want to do anything to force her out of any decision space. So if they both say, no, I don't want to be drafted by the Valkyrie, then I will protect them both. But if both of them say, yeah, I would like the opportunity to be drafted by the Valkyries, or by the Valkyries, yeah. Valkyries. Then at that point, I will protect Benley and Dantas, and then given my preference in Dantas, if for whatever reason we protect either Smith or Mitchell, then my number 6 would be Dantas. That's pretty much how I would approach the protections for the Indiana Fever when it comes to the Golden State expansion draft. I think it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. I really don't know, but I do hope they're talking to their players. I mean, I hope that's happening, right? There's 4 players I'm not giving an option to. and I'm protecting them right away. And that's who I told you, right? So Kaylin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hall, and Katie Lou Samuelson. The other two, yeah, I mean, I could protect both Smith and Mitchell, but I want them. I want that to be their decision. So that's how I would do this entire situation and take it from there. Again, I've said it before in previous videos, and I'll continue to say it. Uh, the three core players is really the only players that I really care about leaving the team. Everybody else, I think we can always plug and put some pieces in to replace them. But those other three, I think, are irreplaceable. Clark, Boston, Hall. You're not gonna get a Clark, Boston, Hall from any other team in the league. So, so those are my thoughts on the expansion draft. Let me know what you think. Let me know the 6 players that you would select, that you would protect for the Fever, and a little bit of your reasoning as to why. I mean, I think it's a healthy discussion, and there's no wrong answer, except if you think that either Clark, Boston, or Hole don't need protection. But other than that, I think the other three, it's open to debate. I don't think there's particularly any wrong answers. But I still think it's you have to discuss with those players, especially those players who are starting to have either second thoughts about being with the team or who have plans to make some free agency type decisions that they want some control and some decision space over. And I would want to allow them to continue to have that. So that's it for this video. We'll continue to monitor any and all Indiana Fever and Kaylin Clark news. And then for this weekend, I'll be covering both the MLB playoffs, especially the Dodgers. So I'm going to be following the Dodgers. I'm not really care about any other teams, just the Dodgers. And then for the NBA, I'll be doing the Lakers. And they also play this weekend. But again, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.